just to go over some of the tabs here on the left-hand side, we have the trade tab as we just went over. You can also see that there's the chart here. And we have different specific chart demos as well. And just to go over this and highlight some cool features, you can change the different size of the bars that are on here. So right now I have it as 15 minutes. If you want to see the bars for days, for example, now each bar represents one day. So for example, this bar here would represent, it would show all of these statistics here on the left-hand side. And so this bar would represent June 11th. Here, let me put an arrow to this as well. So this bar, pull that up here, this bar would represent June 11th, and that would show the open, high, low, and close, as well as the volume traded that day. So I'll just hover over that for a second just so you can take in what that looks like. And then so this is where you can do all of your trading from, is the trade tab. If you were interested in trading options as well, you can change the asset type to options, and this would then bring up the option chain. And then the activity tab, this would show all of the working and filled orders. You can also populate canceled, and other would be for rejected orders as well. And this would show the fill price that you got, as well as the price at the time that you placed the order. We did a market order, so there is no price, but if you were to do a limit order, it would show whatever price you put here. Then the time in force, the actual time of the order as well. And so if you had multiple trades, this would show multiple different orders that you put here. And then also on the left-hand side, there is the watch list. So here I have the technology sector populated. And just to look at some different watch lists we have earnings, different like high volume options and stuff like that if you're interested in trading those underlyings. And we also have a positions watch list as well. So I'm going to go click on that here. And so on the positions watch list, we have one position open right now, which is in Microsoft, and that will show the last price, the change for the day, the percentage change, and the correlation to SPY. And you can change this up here in the settings button, which I will go over in just a moment. And so also here on the left-hand side, we have the history tab. This would show all of the transactions. And then importantly, the research and news tab. And so this is a very cool tab because it shows different articles that, for example, we have Microsoft up here. This will show different articles, and then you can always click on these if you want to look further into the news. Then we also have the financials. This will show the income statement and balance sheet a little bit lower here. And then you can view this on a quarterly or annual basis. So if you needed any sort of conviction for a trade, if you're looking, on certain increasing assets or liabilities or anything like that, whatever you want to look at here, if you're looking at if you want to look at financial information, you can find it on this tab. And then we also have the ratios as well. This will show a bunch of different market statistics, like for here example, there's the enterprise value. We also have the dividend down here, and there's a bunch of information that's on this page. I can just leave it up here just for everyone to take a look at for a moment. And then just a little bit further, what's on this research and news page. We also have the forecast. So if you're looking for third-party analysts, you can look here. And then this is not a Tasty Trade recommendation or anything. And then there will also be some more different like projected numbers as well, that whatever these third-party analysts will come up with. And then we also have the About section. This will show about Microsoft. It will give a little summary here, and it also has their contact information, and it will list their sector, their industry, employees, and exchange that they trade on. And just to go a little bit further down this About section, we also have the financial summary, which I think is super cool. If you want to look at just a little brief overview of their financial statements over the last quarter or annually, depending on the company, you can take a look here, and this will show just a quick summary of their financial history. And then you've also got listed below the officers of Microsoft, as well as any additional information here. From Jorge, thank you for the question. Is there a list of analysts that are used to fill the forecast bars? Let me just pull this up here. So it says based on 53 analysts, we don't have the specific third-party analysts that are giving these recommendations, but this just comes from a data provider where we pull the information from. Thank you for the question. And so just to go back to the positions tab here while I go over some of the things on the right here. So on this right side column, you can open and close it depending on how you want to view it. This will show first here is the overview tab. And so for the overview tab, this will just have some quote details here first, showing the open, the close, the high and the low for the day, and the 1-year high and 1-year low. And so that will just show some of the price history for Microsoft. And then up here, we have the chart as well. This is a bit of a smaller chart, and so it can be a little tough to view, but it's just to see some of the activity for the day. And then below that, we've got some more metrics, the bid and the ask, as well as order size down here, and then the IV rank and IV index. And we've got volume and market cap as well. And then a little bit below that, we've got the PE ratio and the earnings per share. Earnings doesn't look like Microsoft has an earnings date. I think they just had earnings. And then dividend, that will show the dividend date and the yield as well there. Then this core number here is the correlation that it has with SPY, the overall market. And then this will be tastytrade's liquidity rating, and it gives it a 4 out of 4 stars just for the options and overall shares as well for liquidity. And then going over here on the right again, we've got the positions tab. And then this will just show, we don't have too much here. This will just show the Microsoft position that we have of 1 share. And then below here, it will also show the activity tab for Microsoft as well. This can be important if you have a lot of different orders placed on one symbol. You can see all of the activity right there for the active symbol, which would be Microsoft. And I don't think I went over this just to show where we can research a symbol. It would be here up top. Let me put an arrow to that. A ginormous arrow. It's very important, is where to find where you want to search the symbols. And so to do that, you would just type in whichever symbol you would like in here. It could be Microsoft. Delete that. Could be Apple. Besides that, could be NVIDIA. These are just common names, not any sort of recommendation here. So just showing that there's different symbols that we offer on the platform, and this is where you would research them. And then on the right-hand side, this would also show just the activity here in a bigger page. And then also on the right-hand side, we have the watch list. This will show any populated watch list here, just like we did on the left-hand side over here, these watch lists are equivalent and will show the same information. Just to show some different metrics here on the watch list, we'll have the bid and ask, and then you can also go to the right down here, because as you see, there's two different pages, and then you can click that to go to the other side to see the net change. And so that is some of what's most important on the right side there. And then to get into the settings page, the settings button up here, anything that you would like to change that can be changed on the platform will be up here. This is a very important button to look at to show which symbols, which metrics, and different things like that. Okay, so we can go get into the settings part now. So on the settings button, there is a lot of different things that you can change here. So first in the accounts tab, you can switch on and off privacy mode. I don't want to switch it off privacy mode so I don't get killed by Scott here. And then you can also go to header detail. And then this can show different metrics up here at the top of the page. Let me just exit out of this really quick just to show where the header would be. So the header would be adding information here. Let me collapse this right-hand tab. And then, so this is all the information that I have populated in the settings button. And so just to show you how to change different things, I will go to settings, and then this is what is, so on the header detail here under accounts, this is what will be displayed would be P&L open, today's trades, day trade counter, and buying power usage percentage. If I was interested in something like P&L day percentage change, I can add that to the list. And then once I exit out of settings, that will then show over here and add it to the header detail. And then to go back into the settings button, we can then, so we went from the accounts here, looked at the accounts, went to the header detail, and then now we can go to the chart. This would just reset the chart to default if you had any sort of indicators on it or anything like that. On general, this would change the theme. You can change the theme to light if you would like. That blinds me. I'll do it really quick, but it blinds me a little bit just to show you what it would look like. This would be a white setting. And then the landing page, you can change from dashboard. You can make it to the positions tab. You can also make it to the trading tab, the activity or account management, which some account management we will go into later. And so as of now, I have it as a dashboard, and that's the first page that we went over where it showed the market and the news. And then for the positions detail, it will show the column. First, let's go over the columns, and then we'll go over position detail. The columns are very important. These are some things that I like here that you can show that will show the trade price, the mark of the trade currently, the cost and net liquidity as we went over earlier, and then the P&L day and P&L open, as well as underlying indicators. That underlying indicators will show like the dividend date here, as well as earnings if they have any upcoming earnings like that. And so those are all the columns I have listed. If you would like to add more columns, you would do so up there in the settings. And then for position detail, this would be what shows up on the position tab in the right-hand side. So just to go there, I will go to positions here, again on the right. And then this is where it will show the mark as well as the trade price. There will be two different pages here that you can click through. And then going back to settings, position reports, this will just show all of what is in the capital requirements tab, which I can show here now. This will show the buying power usage and the different requirements that are required by regulatory bodies potentially, and the expected price range as well. And so the capital requirements tab is right here. This is a very important tab to look at buying power. If you want to see how much of a specific underlying is holding up what percentage of your portfolio, that would be, let's say, half of your portfolio is in Microsoft and the other half is in another line, just for example purposes here. You can then click on capital requirement and show that the requirement for this position is $100.96. Show that as the initial requirement and the maintenance there as well. And then you can also go through the different tabs to show the expected price range as well as the point of no return. And just to add on the CapRec tab, we have a lot of Help Center articles on our Help Center, which is support.tastytrade.com. Christian or David can link it in the chat there. And anything you have further questions about that we don't go super in depth on detail here, you can go and take a look at those Help Center articles, or always give us a call at the trade desk. We would be more than happy to walk you through anything that's here. And so just to finish up the settings tab here, you can go to the sound. You can change the sound to the different market open and market close, the order fill sounds and stuff like that, just to make it a little bit more customizable. What's fun, you can also change it to like a cash register. So it goes like cha-ching. That can be a fun one to listen to. And we have a different few options there just to add some customization, add a little flavor to the platform as well. And then for the trade, this would just show, excuse me, this would just show some of the things that pop up on the order ticket when presented. And then for different like futures, options, order, stocks. And so for the trade order, I would like to go over this. So this is something that's important. The single leg order default price you can set to the mid price or the natural price just to see what you would like to default when the order ticket populates. And then just some different default order types here as well, which you can look into. And then for stocks, for the trading quantity, you can default this to 1, 10, 50, or you can also do 25. You can just type that in if you want to have something different preset there. And I'm going to change it back to 1 for when we close our order here. And then for the watch list down here, the settings for this will show what is displayed on the watch list. So for example, the last price, the net change, the net percentage change, and correlation to SPY. And then there's all of these other metrics that you can have there as well. There's a long list of metrics here, and you can pick which ones you like. These I feel are something simple to look at for the stock price change. And so this will be what is displayed here. And then you can also show different things that are displayed for the left-hand side watch list or the right-hand side watch list. And so just to show you what that looks like again, that would be here. And so that is where the last price, the net change percentage, and the correlation to SPY as well.